Hello and welcome to Re-enthused. Today we are looking at this beautiful little beast called the Sam Coupe. Now this was made by Miles Gordon Technology in Swansea in late 1989, and it's an 8-bit computer that was designed, well, not really designed to be the replacement for the Sinclair Spectrum, but was certainly billed as the replacement of the Sinclair Spectrum. And they did this because they added in some software to emulate a Sinclair, which was really just loading the Sinclair ROM into memory, because this actually does run using a Z80 chip like the Spectrums. But the difference is this is a B which runs at 6 megahertz, so quite a bit faster than the Sinclair Spectrum. Now the problem is, and one of the reasons why this didn't do so well, there are more than one, is that by positioning it as being a kind of a follow-up or compatible with the Sinclair Spectrum, people looked at it and didn't really get the idea that it was powerful or more powerful because they'd grouped it with that. Now there are many other reasons as well. There were technical issues that held it back. It came out just as the 16-bit era was starting to kick off as well, and this was only an 8-bit machine, although quite a powerful one. So it didn't really get its day in the sun, which is a shame because it is a genuinely good 8-bit machine. So let's take a little look around it. As we see at the front here, we have 2 bays. Now this is an aftermarket one because my actual official Sam Coupe disk drive doesn't work. But these are 2 bays, so they accommodate 1 or 2 drives. The back has several ports. So we've got a SCART port here, although it's not standard SCART. It's got a special kind of wiring, so you have to get the proper cable. The power DIN, we'll talk about the power supply in a minute. That's got another bit of useful information for it. There's this, which is the power button. There's an audio socket here because this could also load from tape. The disk drives weren't standard, but well, eventually they were, but to begin with they weren't. This little add-on, peripheral add-on plug-in, slightly better version of it than the Spectrum did, which is its bare edge connector. Then we have a reset button, joystick port, and over here we've got an NMI button which lets you break into programs. There's some MIDI ports as well and bits like that, and monitors, but I think really naturally important. Now in terms of the name, the Sam Coupe, Sam obviously quite a friendly name. It was supposed to be there's several things that it's supposed to stand for, like Spectrum Advanced Machine and certain things like that, but who really knows? But the coupe part, because you can see it's kind of styled like a racing car, and it just sounds like a posh name, doesn't it? Coupe. So yeah, I think it's quite a striking little machine, really. So the power supply. Now the power supply, like the Amstrad CPC range, it is designed to just have one cable coming out of the machine. So if you're using RF, the RF and the actual plug socket all come out from here, and the power lead comes out from here as well. So you've got these 3 cables in this one power box. Now I say like the CPC 464, this is literally a CPC 464 power supply with some slightly different wiring, but it's the same molds and everything, so they reuse that. The machine itself, like I say, it originally came with 256K on board, so substantially larger than the other 8-bit machines at the time. It's got a, flip it up, underneath this little sticker here. Well, sticker, it's like a metal plate. There is a RAM expansion. I've got the other 256K expansion built into it, so this has got half a meg. Eventually they did come with half a meg as standard as well. And there were also memory upgrades you could stick into the back port. There's still stuff being made for this. There's a guy called Quasar who does a lot of things for this. That's where I got my memory expansion and also the new floppy drive from. But he also does like a hard drive unit that plugs into the back and things like that. So this is still, this has still got a market on it, and there's still stuff being made. In terms of the specs, like I say, 256, although 512 became standard. Zilog 780 Z80B running at 6 megahertz. And in terms of graphics, it had several modes, 4 of them to be exact. So the first mode was 256 by 192, which allowed it to be compatible with the Spectrum. Mode 3, which was 512 by 192, so quite a few extra lines, which could handle 4 colours. And then finally Mode 4, which again was 256 by 192, but allowed 16 colours. So for a 8-bit machine, pretty impressive. Quite an impressive sound chip as well. It was a Philips SA81099, which allowed 8 octave stereo sound. Again, pretty good for an 8-bit machine. We've looked at the physical characteristics of the machine. We looked at its specs. We should probably look at some of the software. This will be interesting. I have some software on disk, but yeah, there wasn't a lot for it. But the stuff that is out for it is quite impressive, actually. Yeah, I mean, this I kind of mentioned it briefly earlier, but this was Mars Gordon Technology were based in Swansea, so this is like the Dragon 32, another Wells computer, and Dragon 32 was relatively impressive, and this is pretty impressive as well. So you know what, Wells didn't have many computers, but they were pretty good. Right, let's get to actually looking at some of the software.